Hello, it's Friday, February 8th, and must be time for another update from your North Carolina Medical Society. It's been a big week.
Busy week already.
Busy week, yeah. So last week was Medicaid expansion was the topic. This week is Medicaid Transformation is the topic. So Monday was the day that we have been waiting for since 2015 when this legislation first passed, and we've got 5 award winners, right?
We have 4 statewide contracts and 1 provider-led entity.
Yep, so that was good. Just to note that the 1 provider-led entity is Carolina Complete Health, and that's a joint venture between the North Carolina Medical Society, the North Carolina Community Health Center Association, and Centene Corporation. But also this week, we started to hear how the department is going to roll this whole thing out. And this is where the questions have really been lingering with our members for a long time. Like, after these awards happen, what's next?
Right, and it sounds to us that the department's going to go ahead and move right away and not going to waste time. They're going ahead and getting started.
Yeah, and so on Wednesday they had a great conference call, a webinar, and we participated in that to just hear exactly what they were thinking. They talked about the timelines, one of those being a staggered start. So if you are in the Raleigh to Winston-Salem corridor, regions 2 and 4, you're going to start first. Congratulations. Right, so you're starting November of this year. If you're in the rest of the state, you're going to be cranking up in February of 2020. Yeah, so by the spring of next year, everyone receiving physical health through Medicaid will be in one of the capitated plans.
So another thing to note is to be on the lookout for those contracts, because they'll probably start heading your way here shortly.
Right. Yeah, now that we know who it's going to be, a lot of you have seen contracts or letters of intent. The real contracts are coming to you now of what you're going to be offered to be compensated and how you're going to be compensated. Be sure to look at the details of these contracts. It's important, and the department re-emphasized this, your administrative burden. They're trying to limit your administrative burden, as we have asked since 2013 when we started this debate, around credentialing and all those sorts of things that everybody would have to do. The department is going to retain that. Eligibility screening and enrollment, the department is going to retain that. So you'll know whether they're a Medicaid recipient or not when you take them in. But you are still going to have to deal with the individual contracts, as Sue Ann said, from each of those plans. So be paying close attention to those and what elements each of those contracts are adding in addition to the things that you're doing with the state of North Carolina.
Right, and important to note that you don't have to use all 4. You can pick and choose.
That's right. They are doing auto enrollment for any Medicaid recipient that doesn't choose their plan within 90 days. So we'll just have to see how all that shakes out. I mean, this is one of those things that it's happened differently in different states around the country. We presume that a lot of Medicaid recipients will end up auto enrolling, but it could be different in this state. We'll see how it goes. Because now we're in a brand new phase, today we launched a brand new phase. We launched a brand new page on our website. So we've got a Medicaid Transformation page. It was announced in our morning rounds this morning.
Yeah, and that's the best place to find out all the details of all this information that Chip and I just mentioned to you. And we'll have direct links to the DHHS website so that you can view the information that they're sending out. But wanted to give you a central location to find all of that. Right,
and that's where we'll make sure that we're updating you on the things that we're advocating around transformation, because even though we're in the implementation plan, there's still a lot of stuff that we need to continue to fight for to make sure that those patient-provider protections, the administrative simplification, all those guiding principles that we had since 2013 remain intact and actually become real now that we're into this next phase. Right. So that was a huge topic this week, but we still had some other things happening in medicine.
Right. So this week we also had 5 or 6 bills relating to health care filed, and you can view those on our blog. I'm keeping the summaries updated. They have direct links to the bills, so you can view the whole bill and the bill sponsors as well.
Yeah. And remember, this is just a great way to get a sense of what these bills are without having to make sense of the statute references, right? Sue Ann's just doing a quick summary. Most of these you can read in a paragraph or two and have an idea of what the legislators are proposing. We are getting started on committees this next week. Still feel like that's more formational work and not really hearing a lot of bills yet.
Yeah, kind of giving committee overviews for the new members to understand what bills are going to be heard in which committees.
Yeah. So another busy week next week anticipated around that, but probably still won't see a lot of action about bills moving, more about bills being filed just like this and adding to the blog.
Right. And Bill's getting committee referrals as
Right.
well.
Right. Finally, we'll wrap up this week with a thank you. You did a great job of jumping on Action Alert. I know that was a brand new one, a brand new concept to have to take a little bit more time to add in your own personal contact information, and I know how anxious that could be for you to do that, but we really appreciate those of you that reached out to your legislators and gave them that information. We think that's just going to be a valuable tool this next year.
To use.
That's right. So thanks for that. We will have other action alerts as bills come up that go within our priorities this year. And most of those will be more of the traditional ones that you're used to, just a couple of clicks and it's off to the races. But we, like I said, we appreciate you going a little above and beyond with this one. So look out on the blog for updates. Give us a call if you got a question. Make sure you're scheduling a White Coat Wednesday because they're beginning to fill up, thankfully. That's really good. And we'll be back with you next week to give you another full update on what's happening down at the General Assembly. Have a good one.